blowing simple, liberal minds with every idea. Critical thinking is his specialty. Dillon Atkins.
3, 2, 1.
Hello, how's everybody doing? Thank you so much for listening. I am Dillon Atkins. You can always get a hold of me at dillonforamerica@gmail.com or anywhere on Facebook. Just search my name. What I want to talk about is the border crisis, the man-made, let's call it, border crisis. And the reason why I do want to talk about this is because it's not something that we can just kind of close our eyes and put our fingers in our ears and, it's not really happening. It's happening. And the thing is, it's going to have real implications. It's going to cause real problems. Well, it is causing real problems. We've seen protests in Marietta, California, and some other states and towns where they're busing in these illegal immigrants from South America, Central America, and people are stopping the buses, standing in front of the buses, and they're having to turn around. So people are against this, but here's some of the problems. We have to ask ourselves, when something like this happens, it is our responsibility as people, as a nation, as the people who make up America. What is it, what is this going, how is this going to affect us? So it can affect this particular subject. This crisis is going on right now on our southern border. Can affect us in a lot of ways. Economically, it can affect our education system, can affect our benefit system, and it can affect our health and our healthcare system. So the huge number of people that are coming over right now are bringing with them not just sicknesses and diseases, not just a lot of people who will probably be taking part in our benefit system, our government assistance system, and our healthcare system and our school systems, but also they're bringing with them people who are part of MS-13, the gang drug cartel down there. And also there's been speculation that there are members of Al-Qaeda coming across with all these people. So we're just letting in these people who we know nothing about. We don't know where they came from, what their history is. A lot of them are posing as kids, or they're acting like they're the guardian of kids that are coming over. And there's a lot of debate going on of, because the left likes to say they're all, we need to help these young kids, these unaccompanied children. And then there's people on the right saying they're not, there's not a whole lot of children really. It's a lot of teenagers who are part of a gang that want to kill people, and adults, and so there's a big debate. It's really splitting, kind of splitting, the nation between, are we supposed to show compassion to these people and kind of do what, Mexico has said that we are not being neighborly by not taking them in, but yet when we say we're going to send them back through, the Mexican government says no, we're not going to take them, we're not going to let them through. So who's being neighborly there? But the thing is, what is it that we need? What is it we need to do? Do we need to send them back, or do we need to take care of them while they're here until we can get things arranged and get them sent back, or do we need to just keep them? There's a huge debate about that, and but how we come to that answer, see, that's the big answer. When you do something, you look at the big picture and then you go backwards from there. And the big picture is that we have a lot of people coming over the border right now, and it is going to cause real problems. And we need to find out, and we need to work out how we're going to handle this issue. So we have to look at the different little aspects that are in this, like what's coming over with them right now. is a lot of diseases and sicknesses that we got rid of a long time ago, and they're being reintroduced because these people in Mexico and in South America, they don't have the kind of health care that we do, obviously, and so they're being reintroduced. Now, we do have vaccines, we do have medication for this stuff, but do we have enough? Do we have enough to protect us and them from these sicknesses that they're reintroducing as they come across the border? And can we protect our children against these diseases? And then there's also the speculation, of course, that the left, this is a plan for them to gain a lot of potential voters one day. If you grant them amnesty, then you make them a citizen and they can vote and all that. So so that's a conspiracy theory. If that's true or not, we don't know. We can only look at evidence that we have, and the evidence that we have is that Obama has come up with some ideas to help remedy the problem, but again, he hasn't done a whole lot to stop them from coming in. He hasn't secured the border. So there's speculation on both sides. Now, what does all of this mean for us as American citizens? And one of those is we have to look at the systems we have in place to take care of people. And that is the amount of people coming over is going to put a big strain on our healthcare system. It's going to put a big strain on our school system, as I was saying before. It's going to put a big strain on our government assistance programs. And because think about it, you have a system. Let's take the healthcare system, for instance. We have a system set up that can handle the citizens we have now. Kind of. It can handle the citizens we have now, but it's pretty much set up just for that. Now, if you introduce another mass number of people and stick them on top of that who don't have insurance, and who don't even speak English, they don't have any documentation, what's that going to do? It's going to suck up more money from the hospitals and more money from the government who is helping pay for these people's health care, which is going to, in turn, affect our taxes, because where does the government get its money? Our tax dollars, for the most part. And so when you put that kind of strain on there, it's not going to work out well for those of us who live here, who are citizens. It's not going to do any kind of good. Another thing that this means for us is when you look at the economy, Obama has said that this will help the economy because we're putting more workers into the workforce, but there's a problem with that. We don't have enough jobs for the people that we have now. So how is adding more people to the job market going to help anything? So what that does is they can work for less money. They will work for less money because they send the money back to Mexico or back to South America, where our dollar is worth way more than their currency. So they will work for a whole lot less and undercut you and me. We live here, obviously. We're supporting our family here. So we have to have more money. We have houses and cars, families, we have insurance, we have all this stuff that we're paying for. And they are, A, not paying taxes, and B, they don't have that stuff here. They have that stuff in another country that their money is worth a lot less in. So they can work for less and get the same effect in their home country. So who is the employer going to go for? The person who can get the job done but cost, X amount of dollars, or the person who can get the job done who is going to cost significantly less. That's not a hard business decision. If you spend less to get something done but you're making the same money off of it, you keep more money. So they're going to go with the people who will make them more money, who will allow them to keep more money. So these are things we have to look at. Remember, the big goal is, do we keep them? Do we take care of them while they're here, while we work on sending them back? Or do we just send them back now? So these are things we have to look at. Now, why does this hurt the schools? The reason I'm going over all these points is because this is something that is important. The reason I'm going over all of these little ideas, all these little scenarios and different strains, is because it is important. This affects your life, it affects my life, it affects your kid's life and your grandkid's life. They're putting these people on military bases which Obama has control over. He's the commander-in-chief. He's supposed to have control over them. Whether we want him to or not, that's beside the point. But he has control over them. So there's not a whole lot that a governor of a state can do when they send these people to a military base, because that's not their jurisdiction. But what can we do to help fix this problem? If you want to go with sending them back, that's something that no one has been exactly clear on. How we can do that. Obama is not really wanting to do that. Obama is wanting to keep them. He's wanting to give them the things that they need and show them the hospitality that America has to offer, is what he's saying. But the problem is the hospitality that we have to offer is not for people who come here illegally. The stuff we have to offer is people who come here through the proper channels to become a citizen and pay their taxes. And so I don't that to me that isn't right. To me, if you're going to come over here illegally, then you don't need to stay. However, saying that, having said that, here's my other point: is that I am willing, because I guess because I'm a Christian and I have a soft spot for people who don't have as much as I do. I would be willing to say, okay, if you came over here illegally, but we're going to give you a second chance. You broke the law, but we're going to give you a second chance. This is not for the people who are part of the drug cartels and possibly Al-Qaeda that's coming over, obviously. How we obtain that information, I don't know. This is just kind of an idea that I have. But that is, we will give you a second chance to become a citizen, pay your taxes, you get a job, pay your taxes, don't live off the government's dime, take care of yourself, provide for yourself and your family. And we will forgive the fact that you came over here illegally. That's because I have a soft spot for people who have less than I do, and I want to help. But if they're not willing to do that, then no, you're going home. And that's the end of it. But what can an individual state do to help mitigate this issue, to help stop what's happening, and kind of push back? Governor of Texas Rick Perry has actually called his National Guard down to the border. Now, they can't make arrest and they cannot deport, but they can help screen people who are coming over. So I don't know to what end. I mean, if they can't arrest them, I don't see what screening them has to do. But anyway, it's just putting more personnel on the border. But he can do that. That's kind of the limit, to be honest with you. That's pretty much the limit of what a governor can do on this issue. It's really up to Obama, Congress, and the Senate to get this thing done. And so far, the GOP wants $1.5 billion. This is according to the Washington Post. Wants $1.5 billion for border security, and Democrats want $2.7 billion for efforts on the border. Now, neither of these, both parties, mainly the GOP actually, are split, saying that's too much money, we just need to send them home. And then there's the other side of the parties that they kind of float, they're the what we call the Rhino Republicans. They kind of say, well, we need to keep them, and we need $1.5 billion to help give these people what they need. And then the Democrats, they're pretty much united on the $2.7 billion. Now, Obama came in and said, no, I want $3.7 billion. And Congress said no. They said that is too much money. Where are we going to get it from? He pulled it out of somewhere. I don't know. But they still said no, they're not going to do it. He wants more lawyers, more attorneys down there, and judges to help, have the hearings to see if these people can stay or not, and all that huge convoluted mess. And seeing that was that was according to CNN, and also something CNN said is most people approve of the $3.7 billion to immediately remedy the situation, but they do not. They are not happy with the unsecured border. So most people want that border secure. They don't want people coming over, but yet They are okay with the spending the $3.7 billion to say, okay, let's just, the people we have now, let's take care of them while they're here, while we work on sending them back. But secure the border so no one else can get in. And that's kind of the numbers on that. So here's my stance on the thing is I don't think that this should have ever happened in the first place. I think that it is a man-made crisis, humanitarian crisis, that is another one of these, well, it's kind of a conspiracy theory, I guess, if you want to go there, but one of these things that Obama's using to help bring America to its knees, put more of a strain on its systems, put more of a strain on its economy, and assist in the decline and demise of our nation. This is not something that I'm happy about. I don't think this should have ever happened. This is, if a nation has no borders, it's not a nation at all. A nation has to have its borders to maintain its sovereignty, to say that we are, you can come this far and no further, essentially. This is our home. You cannot come here unless you go through the proper channels, and we accept you. And we accept people. It's not like no one can get in. We accept people every year. We're always letting people in. But they have to go through the proper channels. I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it. There's a reason we have the immigration channels that we have so people can come in here into this country and pay their taxes, become an American, experience what it is to be an American with the full opportunity that this country has to offer. But we want you to be legal. We want you to come through the proper channels. This should have never happened. The border should remain closed and tight. And if anyone comes across the border without proper documentation, if they come across the border with gang tattoos, on their face, they're going home. It's not hard to identify these gang members, and especially when you just let a mass flood of people come into your nation, and you're not vetting them. You don't know what their background is. You don't know who they're affiliated with. There is no telling what evil you are letting into your country by doing that. We have to secure the border. We have to stop the influx of people coming in. And we have to take care of the people. Here's my opinion. We have to take care of the people that are here now until they get sent home. My last show, I talked about Glenn Beck raised $2 million and took 18-wheelers full of food and teddy bears and dolls and action figures for the kids, the little kids, on the border to help them, feel more comfortable and somewhat loved, because it's not their fault that they're here until they do get sent home, until we figure out what's going on. So the border needs to be secured, and the people that are here now need to be taken care of until we can get them home. It's time that we secure our borders, secure our nation, and make sure that our people are safe. Make sure that our children's future is insured and safe. That is what it is to be an American, to stand up for yourself, to make sure that our opportunities last, and make sure that our children have the same opportunity, if not more, than we do. And this border crisis is not helping that situation at all.